Hello there ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. Join me back at Peckham as usual. So today, don't really have a fun topic to talk about, but I wanted to talk about cyclists and how much of a danger they are, not just to buses but to all vehicles. So it's a bit of a rant today because I've had to deal with a lot of stupid cyclists today, and it sounds really bad, but I honestly believe that at least 60 to 70% of cyclists are bad. You know, you only get that real small percentage that actually, you know, are good. I don't know what word to say, but like, you know, they obey the law for a start. You know, I was just think that, you know, they own the road and they can do whatever they like, but they, you know, they're just the same as the rest of us. You know, if you want to use our roads, you abide by the same rules we have to. You know, it's as simple as that. So it's not really a nice video to talk about because, you know, obviously I don't know if any of you are cyclists, but I apologise if I offend you, but I can only go off with what I've seen and had to deal with, you know, my time as a bus driver. So I've got about 18 minutes or so I hopefully won't rant for that long, but yeah. But the main issue with cyclists for me is they do not obey red lights. You know, they just think it doesn't apply to them. You know, a red light means stop, right? That's for everyone. You know, that applies to everyone. It's for your safety. You know, the light goes red telling you to stop because, you know, obviously you got to let other traffic, you know, join the main road, you know, but, you know, it's there for your safety. And yeah, especially at Peckham, obviously we're on a separate set of traffic lights to obviously the main line of traffic. So obviously, you know, when our light goes green, everything else is red. But yet cyclists still come through and they put themselves in danger, you know, because at the end of the day, it's my right of way, and yet they're cutting me up, you know, and I could kill them, you know. I'm not going to sugarcoat this at all, because that's what will happen. You know, the way I see it, your luck will run out and that's the end, you know. And it's a harsh way of thinking about it, but that's the reality, you know. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. I mean, it doesn't just go for cyclists. I mean, it goes for every, you know, user on the road. You know, it goes for me, it goes for a car, a van, you know, a lorry, a digger. You know, it goes for everyone. You know, you try your luck too many times and it will run out, you know. But especially for cyclists, because, you know, at least with us, we're somewhat protected in our vehicles. You know, like, you know, most of the bodywork will absorb, you know, the forces. You know, so it won't like be as bad as it would if you had no protection whatsoever, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's just, it really frustrates me that they think that they can go through red lights, because you can't. It's against the law. And what makes it worse is that the police do not do anything about it. I've maybe in my time of driving, well, I've just seen a van go for a straight red there, so I say that. Yeah, like in all my time of driving, I've probably seen one officer stop a cyclist from going for a, you know, like because they went for a red light. One person out of the entire police force in London, I've seen one person do that. And I think, why are you not treating them the same as everyone else? Give them a fine, you know, all that stuff. Like, you've gone for a red light, you know, that's a fine or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm very critical when it comes to cyclists, because they all want the same rule. They want to be part of the road. They want to have like the same rights as everyone else on the road, if that makes sense. So I think, well, if that's what you want, then I feel like you have to like own a license to ride a cycle, like a bicycle and all that. I think you have to tax it, insure it, you know, wear a helmet, all that stuff. That should all be legally required before you go on the road on a bicycle. And I know you're probably thinking that's a bit extreme, but I don't think it is. You know, we have to do it. If you want the same rights as us on the road, you have to do the same things we have to. We have to tax and insure our vehicles, you know. We have to wear a seatbelt, you know. Like, obviously they can't wear seatbelts, but in like a counter to that would be wear a helmet, you know. But yeah, it's just, I think cyclists are out of control. What annoys me is that councils are spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on building these super highways for cyclists, and hardly any of them use them. Like, they still just, cycle on the road, even though they've got literally probably half the road to themselves, because that's how much space they take up. If any of you go through Greenwich, you know what I'm talking about. They get a huge chunk of the road to themselves, and hardly any of them use it, and it frustrates me. They've got their own set of traffic lights and everything. They don't abide by that either. They've got their like cycle traffic lights, with the picture of the cycle, over like the light, So they've got their own special ones. Still don't use them. They think it's okay, and it's not. But I think if you want to be treated the same as everyone else on the road, you have to tax your vehicle, insure it, all that stuff. I think the police should treat you the same as well. Like if you go for a red light and you're on a bicycle, you get pulled over just like the rest of us. Because I've gone for a red light before and I've been pulled over by the police. So why can't a cyclist be pulled over? Well, I don't like getting angry like this, but when you've had it happen to you so many times, you think, right, someone's got to say something, and it's they've got to be put. I don't want to sound like really like. I don't want to sound like, like I own the roads by saying, oh, they need to be put down in their place kind of thing. But it's like, I'm trying to think of their safety, because like I've said this to many cyclists that I've nearly had an accident with. It has happened in the bus. I've simply gone to them. You do realise, mate, my tyres will pop your head like a balloon. Like, that's what will happen. It will pop your head like a balloon. You'll be dead. Like, we have the stickers on the buses for a reason. If you see the bus indicator go on, let the bus do its manoeuvre. Just hold back, let the bus do its manoeuvre, and then once he's finished his manoeuvre, you can then assess the situation and see what see if you can, what you can do basically. That should go for every vehicle though. If you see someone doing a manoeuvre, just hold back, let them do what they got to do, give them the space they need, and then once they've done what they need to do, then you can assess the situation. Can I get through? Do I, am I going to have to go in the other lane? That kind of thing. That's what bus drivers are taught to do. Just hold back, assess the situation, and do the safest option. That's what we're taught. But that's the thing, because they don't really, when you're like 11, you go through a little course, but to me that's not good enough. Like, you forget things when you're 11. It's not the same. It's not the same when you're like 20 years old, because a lot of cyclists, they don't have lights on their bicycles, they don't wear high vis gear, so if I kill you, I can't see you, like, how's that fair to me? People don't think like the effect that it has on the person who hits them. They all think, oh no, a cyclist is dead. It's like, well, what about the person who was driving? They can't see them. It's pitch black. They don't have any lights on. They're not wearing any high vis gear so we can see them. And it ain't fair. But it's dangerous. And you'll be surprised. Like if you don't drive yet, you'll be surprised what cyclists will do to get past you. It'll go through the tiniest of gaps. Now you've pulled into the curb to serve a bus stop. They'll still go down that side, and squeeze past. It's like, seriously? You want to put yourself in more danger? Do you want me to squish you as well? It's like, it's not fair. If they want to be treated as a member of the road, they have to be treated exactly how we're treated. Abide by the highway code that we abide by. Obey the same, laws that the government has set out. Like, it should be for everyone who uses the road. But yeah, so that's like my little rant. It goes for mopeds and like the illegal scooters that shouldn't even be on the road. It goes for all of them as well, because at the end of the day, mopeds just go in and out like that, weave in. Motorcycles do it as well, but it's not as bad. Well, I find motorcyclists aren't as bad as mopeds, like the Deliveroos and all that stuff. They're not as bad as them. It's like, this happened to me the other day. It was late at night. It was like, there must have been about 6 people. He's just gone through a red light. There there was about 6 people wanting to cross in the middle of the road, and they were drunk. Obviously, I can see they've got beers in their hand, so I thought, hold back, just let them cross. You know, the moped doesn't think, okay, the bus has stopped for some reason, so there must be something happening up ahead. And he comes zooming past down me and nearly hits one of them, and then he's got the audacity to give the pedestrians the middle finger. It's like, hold on a minute, you've seen me stop in the middle of the road, why do you think, alright, let me go cautiously because I can't see, like, you know, because there's no traffic in front of this bus, so there must be something else happening, so let me just slowly move up and assess the situation until I can see what's going on. But they don't think like that. They don't think logically. They think, I've got to get through, I've got to get through, I've got to get through, you know, I've got deliveries to make. It's like, yeah, fair play, you're on a timer. But lives are worth more than getting your food delivered on time. Do you know what I mean? You can't replace a life. You can replace a bit of chicken in a box. Do you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Because you can't replace someone's life. That will be with you for the rest of your life. If you kill someone, that's it. Like, you're haunted, you know, by that image. You know, especially like, it's like, I always feel sorry for, you know, tube drivers and train drivers, because there's literally nothing they can do. They can't swerve or anything. They've got to watch their, you know, they watch their body go under their butt at their train. Sorry, it must be like absolute traumatic. At least in a bus, you can brake hard. You know, you can swerve out the way and try and prevent it from happening. But in a tube and you know, in a train, you can't do that. You know, you're on rails. You know, you can only go in 2 directions, either forward or backwards. You know, and I just think I feel sorry for them. But I just think, why risk it? Why risk your life just to get past, you know, a bus? Because that's the other thing about cyclists. It's like they see you're wanting to pull out, right? And there's a car who's letting me go. This happened the other day at New Cross as well, because you know how busy it gets at New Cross with all the buses, you know, because there's changeovers happening there, so obviously most of the time we have to come out into the other lane and then go back into the bus lane. So what happened was, I had my indicator on, waiting to come out, right? The car is flashing me to go, so I've started to pull out, and the cyclist has just kept on going, thinking, hold on a minute, the car's stopped, the bus is waiting to pull out, maybe I should wait and let the bus do what it needs to do. You know, but they don't think like that. You know, like they don't think like that. Like, admittedly, you can't. Obviously, even buses don't do this. Like, you know, we don't. Every time there's an indicator that comes on, we don't always let them out of like the side street and all that stuff. And that's purely because we have to assess the situation. We have to think, okay, right, if I let them go, like, and they block my lane, you know what? How long are they going to have to wait before the person in the other lane lets them go? Do you know what I mean? So if it's clear on in the other direction and it's down to me to stop, I'll stop. But in certain cases, I can't, you know, because there's no point, because you've got traffic going in the opposite direction as well. So I'm now holding everyone behind me, you know, waiting for this, like, someone to let this guy go. So you have to assess the situation carefully. But cyclists, they don't have that mental capacity. I'm not saying all don't, because some of them, there are, you know, I'd say it's the number of good cyclists are starting to increase. But to me, the bad outweighs the good. You know, they are dangerous. They don't think. They only think about themselves. They don't think about the impact of their actions on everyone else on the road. And they want to be accepted as, you know, a valuable member of the road, right? But you got to remember, you're not. Like, it sounds really horrible, but you're at the bottom of the chain. It sounds really horrible to say it like that. So I don't want to sound like I'm at the top of the food chain kind of thing, because we're not. You know, like, we're very slow vehicles. You know, so I just because we're big doesn't mean we, like, you know, we're at the top. You know, comes down to speed at some point sometimes. But it's just, you got to remember that you know, if the car is stopped to let someone out, you need to stop as well. Look at the situation. You always have to think like a good driver, and the way that I do that is, how can I make this situation better, right? Not make it worse. Yeah, how can I make the situation better, not worse? That's how you have to think as a driver, not just as a bus driver, but you know, just a member of the road in general, you know. But you know, unfortunately, the way it is, it takes someone to die for something to be done, you know. And that may be what needs to happen for, you know, for the government to realise that we need it's more about protecting them rather than like punishing them. It's more about protection, you know, because at the end of the day, it's you know, I feel scared for them, you know, because the thing is, like, it's like you've got no protection whatsoever. You go under a car, that's it, you're dead. Again, you go under a bus, your head pops like a balloon, and it's horrible to think about, but that's what could happen. But yes, I hope you've enjoyed this little, sorry that it was kind of like a sad video, I got really deep then, but I need people, especially cyclists, if anyone's watching who's a cyclist, I need you to understand the harsh reality of the situation that a lot of you are putting yourselves in. You're putting yourselves in too much danger, because there will be a time when someone won't be able to stop in time, you know, and they could kill you, you know, and that's the harsh reality. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about death anymore, because it's not really like a good topic to talk about, but I just wanted to make cyclists aware of this. It's dangerous. Please be careful when you're around, especially buses, right? Because you got to remember, we've got blind spots where we can't see you. You know, we can't see. Like, you may think, oh, you got mirrors down the side of the bus. Yeah, but that only does so much. There's blind spots that I can't see if you're there. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe for more content if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.